Welcome back. This week has been very busy. Monday and Tuesday were a washout and I spent the entire time writing computer code for my GPS system. And then on Wednesday I spent all day panic sowing fertilizer because we had a really nice bit of rain coming on Wednesday night. And then on Thursday I was away all day at the NAP event. More on that later in the video. And here we arrive at Friday. This week has honestly vanished. How is it already Friday? When I was sowing all of my silage ground for the second time on Wednesday, I noticed something pretty alarming. The amount of Dawkins. I knew Dawkins were going to be an issue, but because of the dry weather, I held off on spraying them. I was worried the grass would be stressed because it didn't have enough rain and it would really stunt grass growth, so I decided to leave it. And I had hoped that I would get away with it and I could just spray the weeds after second cut. But that's not going to happen. There is some fields which are genuinely almost entirely Dawkins. I honestly can't believe how many weeds there are. So, them weeds need dealt with. And that is what we are doing today. And it has to be today because the forecast doesn't give another dry day for 2 weeks. But we do have a problem with this plan. That my sprayer is 1,000 litres with 10-metre booms. To spray anything takes forever. First job, let's fill this sprayer. This is where a volume hose comes in exceptionally handy. Hopefully that stays. We are going to be using a spray called Talia. It is just a generic Fluxifor, probably pronounced that wrong, spray. So Minstrel, Galgon, it goes by loads of names. It used to be the really obvious choice because of its price. I'm pretty certain a few years ago it was £45 for 5 litres. However, today that is £70 for 5 litres. If anyone knows a cheaper place to buy spray than Fian Valley stores, please let me know. The recommended rate for Talia is 2 litres per hectare. And you definitely can get away with reducing that rate if you're spraying your Dawkins at the right growth stage. However, we are not spraying our Dawkins at the right growth stage. They are pretty big at this point. So we are going to be going on with the full rate. 2 litres of spray per hectare. But I am going to reduce the water volume. So if I was to go with the recommended water volume of 400 litres per hectare, that sprayer would require 5 litres. But I'm going to put 7 litres in, which would bring my water volume down to around 300 litres per hectare. I can just get more done in less time. So we're now halfway full, so let's add in our spray. So the spray's in. Sorry I couldn't film that bit, but I had to get changed into my full PPE. And I was wearing my big gloves, so I couldn't actually use the camera. I'm sure you will all understand. Probably should check the nozzle. Oh no. Oh, they're really silted up. Oh, I really wish I hadn't checked the nozzles now. Right, I'm gonna have to get them cleaned as well. Guess I might get my full PPE back on. Before we do that, we'll go and get some more spray first. Let's hope they have some in stock. We will take the wonderful chimney. Got lots of room for spray. Over the years, I have done a lot of spraying for weeds. And I had done a really good job of getting rid of basically all Dawkins. Like, I'd honestly almost managed it. And I think it was a combination of spraying regularly and leaving a good regrowth on reseeded fields. So the grass that was there was outcompeting the Dawkins. But I think what happened this time was that the dry weather slowed down the grass growth, but it didn't slow down the deeper tapping Dawkins. So they got above the grass and are now outcompeting the grass, and there's Dawkins everywhere. It's fine. A little bit of herbicide is a very easy fix. Extra spray has been acquired. It turns out I actually didn't pay £70 a bottle for Talia. I was charged 65. And today, because I've just spent £1,200 on spray, I got a little bit of a better price. Not enough of a discount that Fian Valley deserves. I just dropped it. Not enough of a discount that Fian Valley deserves the promo, but they are fairly good at getting what you need. That's our nozzles cleaned, EPS installed. Let's go spray some weeds. Now I'm actually going to play a little bit of a trick on you all. The first few fields I'm going to spray don't have that many weeds in them. And I'm going to save videoing the actual spraying for later on today, when I'm going to go and spray the fields that we reseeded last June. They have not been reseeded since they were sowed out in grass seed, and there is an unimaginable amount of Dawkins at this point. So I will catch up with you in about 2 hours time when we're spraying them 3 fields. And then we'll also discuss the meeting that I went to yesterday. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get very angry when I discuss it, so that's your warning. I totally forgot how long spraying takes. It is now 11:30 and I have only done 2 fields. I am definitely not going to get anywhere near the amount of spraying I had hoped done today. You may wonder, why do I have such a small sprayer when I tend to have a bit of an addiction to buying machinery? Well, the honest answer is that the economics of buying anything bigger for a farm my size just makes no sense. So these 3 fields were reseeded last June. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It's a pretty good one. And whilst it might look like a really nice field of grass, it is absolutely infested with Dawkins. So many Dawkins. Like so many Dawkins. Hence why it needs sprayed. Although I will add, this is a pretty impressive crop of grass, despite the Dawkins, considering that this was cut just 4 weeks ago. And spraying it now means we will have to leave 3 weeks until we cut it. So that is going to delay our second cut a little bit, but it should be okay because I only put on the second application of nitrogen on Wednesday, so I kind of need to wait that 3 weeks regardless. And also I physically can't bring myself to cut a field with this many Dawkins in it. I just can't do it. It's really, really important when we're doing these 3 fields that we don't miss any bits, because any bit we miss is going to be just a line of Dawkins that's going to be there for the rest of the year. So I am very glad I have my GPS, which has full RTK and is accurate to 2 centimeters. So any mistakes, it's going to be my fault. So we need to drive at 9 kilometers per hour. It will be a lovely field of grass once these Dawkins are gone. Look at the amount of them. Oh my days. When I came in here on Wednesday and sowed this with fertilizer, I was genuinely horrified. There's a pretty tricky corner right here. Oh, I'm sliding. Need to be very careful that I don't lose a nozzle, because I do not have any spares. I think that's too fast. I think I'm going to have to go a wee bit slower just make sure that I actually get them killed. We've been around the outside of the field once. We're now going to start going back and forth and record some AB lines. I think I'm going to actually just do it as a curved line, because spraying is slow enough that it's fairly easy to follow. And please don't hit them branches. Okay, we're good. Turn on paint, turn on my spray, get it lined up. Oh, I'm sliding again. Oh my days. Start recording our AB line. Don't miss any bits, don't miss any bits. I'm going to overlap here just so that the AB line is straighter. Okay, and we're going to finish our AB line, turn off our sprayer, round we go. Oh no, don't hit the bushes. Oh dear, oh dear. Maybe I should have went around the outside twice. The field's not very big, so I really didn't want to do that. Let's get onto our line. We'll zoom in a little bit. Make it a wee bit easier. Right, I'm going to concentrate on spraying. When I'm finished, let's chat about the meeting yesterday, and we'll follow on from our discussion last week on NAP. Can you see the 2 tracks in front of me? That is from 4,000 gallon slurry tankers driving through a cut silage field. It is mental how much grass it kills. I think I'll be able to do 2 things at once. Spray my weeds, oh I'm too close to the hedge, and chat about NAP. So to review, in case you missed last week's video, the Department of Agriculture here in Northern Ireland released their 4th Nitrates Action Programme, which has their suggestions of how they are going to improve water quality in Northern Ireland. The document genuinely defies belief. It is so bad, it would essentially mean the end of family farms in Northern Ireland. The idea that I could sustain this business with half of the livestock is just absolute nonsense. And yesterday we had the 4th and final consultation event. The first consultation event, which happened a week ago, had 40 people turn up. The event yesterday had over 700 show up. And the message that the farmers in the audience give to the DAERA staff was very, very clear. We are not accepting this. And I forgot to turn off my AB line. Ah! Fine, I can cancel it and do another one. So how did yesterday go? Well, I actually came away from it really encouraged. Encouraged by the sense of unity from the people in the room. Encouraged by the sense of anger, which was visceral. You could feel it in the room. And encouraged by how moronic the people from DAERA presenting the information actually were. There is so much I could say about that, and there is so much I could say about the event yesterday. But I just want to get across one example from yesterday which reinforces my point from last week's video, that they had their objectives from the very beginning and they adjusted, manipulated, lied to get the research to fit their desired objectives. I put to you all that they wanted to make the problem seem as bad as possible so that they could justify the objectives that they were setting out. And at the meeting yesterday, I got some very clear evidence of that. And I am currently massively overlapping my lines. I cannot spray and record this video. They put up this slide at the first event they hosted last week. And this is what was in the consultation documents. It showed that from 2012 to 2022, there was a 50% increase in soluble phosphorus in our waterways. And you may notice that it is quite strange that that graph ends in 2022. Well, the graph they put up at yesterday's event looked like this. That 50% increase had changed to a 38% increase, and they had added in 2 years of data. So at the event yesterday, I asked the question to the guy at the front, whose name is Brian Doer. Pretty sure his surname's not Doer, but I'm calling him Doer because he was the most boring presenter I've ever listened to in my entire life. I asked him, why did you add in 2 years of data which fundamentally changed one of your key points, that there was a 50% rise in phosphorus in Northern Ireland's waterways? And on the stage, he tried to bluff it off. He said, we added in the information because the data was released yesterday. At this point, he knew my microphone was gone. I couldn't reply. But that was not the question I asked. I asked, why did they add in 2 years data? They clearly had the 2023 data, which actually would have reduced that 50% increase to a 34% increase, but they chose not to publish it. They chose not to put it in the consultation because it didn't fit their agenda of making the problem look as bad as possible. And when I challenged him directly face to face afterwards about why they didn't use the 2023 data even though they had it, he changed his story. He then claimed that the reason they didn't include it was because they didn't have enough data, because they had staffing issues in 2023 and they couldn't record water quality. Are you kidding me? You had staffing issues, so you chose to leave out the data. That's not how this works. It is an average that you are plotting. An average. So even if you take half the sample, the average can still work. You can simply compare the same sites that you sampled in 2023 as previous years. It was a lie. It was a lie, and the reality is that they chose not to include the 2023 data because it had fallen. They chose to make it look as bad as possible. When you add into that all the other stuff I mentioned last week, about them lying about the ammonia emissions from urea, about them misleading people over how slurry separation works, their attempt to prevent farmers from attending the consultation events by holding them at 2 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. All of this paints a very clear picture. There is people within DAERA who want rid of farmers. It's actually kind of insane. And I'm genuinely shocked that they're willing to go to such lengths They're willing to stoop so low to blatantly misrepresent data and leave out data just to get their agenda through. It is genuinely disgraceful. And I am so proud of everyone who showed up yesterday to send a really clear message that farmers are not stupid, despite what you may think. I could chat about this stuff all day long, but I'm not going to because I have definitely missed so many bits of this field by trying to talk and spray. I'll catch up with you later on and give you an update on how I've got on. How is that 4 weeks regrowth? That is absolutely mental. I've had my lunch, I've got an outfit change, and we're on to load number 3. And I also managed to pick up a little helper. So we need to use 1.5 drums of spray. Okay? Let's go put this into the sprayer, okay? I'll not give you one of them, I'll do it for you. She got very jealous of her brother getting to be in a YouTube video. So I have been given absolutely no choice. She has to come with me. You hold the camera, you look at the little screen, and you can do the videoing, okay? You can be my camera crew. So you need to walk about, you need to move. Get the good angles. Right, let's go.
I just being in here, and I just said it here. I said in here.
Yeah, the both of you were here, weren't you?
Yeah.
What was that? Why are you wearing a medal? Did you do your sports day today?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
It was today.
It was today.
I was trying to tell you, but you didn't even listen.
So remember when I said 2 seconds ago, what's that noise? Well, it turns out I should have paid more attention to that. I didn't turn the camera on because we were on the road, but the tractor completely died. Like, I couldn't go over 30 kilometers an hour. And it was making a really loud whining sound. But somehow, it seems to have fixed itself. So, I honestly have no idea. It seems to be back to normal, but that was really scary. We actually pulled over to the side of the road because I was certain it was just going to conk out. There's a weird smell as well. When I'm putting down my booms, I'll sort of check over everything. And this might have to do us for the spraying for today. We'll see how we get on the drive back to the farm. This field is very much the same as the other two. Lots and lots of grass and lots of dogs. I'm going to try and do a much better job of following my GPS this time, so I'll see you back at the farm. If we make it back to the farm. I hope it wasn't that spray nozzle stuck in my water bottle, which I still haven't got out. See if we can go full speed.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, it's fixed. The tractor fixed itself. What a great tractor.
Yeah.
It gets a problem and then it fixes itself.
Good tractor.
This is a good tractor. You're right, Cece.
We should not sell it.
Well, yeah. We probably will sell it.
Why?
Because I want a slightly bigger tractor.
Yeah, like this dusty old tractor.
Yeah, I'm not a dusty old tractor. Yeah, I have no idea what that issue was. So I do have a problem. Error code 100. I am certain someone is going to watch this video and know what that means. And I actually feel like I've seen that before, which makes me think it's not that bad. I can never understand why tractor manufacturers don't just tell you what the error is. Like, why not just say on the screen, engine fault? Anyway, what I'm going to do, and this is very much a dairy farmer thing to do, is I'm going to stop up at the farm, turn the tractor off, go and get a cup of coffee and a drink of water, and then come back and turn the tractor on and see if the error has gone away. That's my plan. And let's hope that works. I mean, the tractor's still going fine, so I don't know. Hopefully that's going to fix it. I knew turning it off and on again would work. Right, I'm going to spray 2 more fields. The guy with the big trail sprayer is coming in 20 minutes, so I am going to get a lot more done today than I expected. And the rain now looks like it's going to hold off until 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. So we're getting there. Not going to get everything I wanted done, but I'm going to get a lot done. Yeah, so I definitely should have listened to the warnings. We definitely have an issue. That's a very, very big issue. Balls. That is all of the engine oil. Oh, I should not have kept risking it. It must be the turbo that has just blown up. That's not the best. That is not the best. What's my plan here? Oh no. Oh, it just went coming down the road, and the plume of white smoke coming out of it was unbelievable. That would explain the noise, the whine. That was the turbo failing. I don't understand why it fixed itself, but that would also explain the lack of power because the turbo was failing. And then the air code, I don't know. Right, oh my goodness, what a disaster. Can I turn it on again to get that sprayer hooked off? I hope so. I hope so. I really wish I hadn't kept driving it, but it did go back to completely normal. No noises, no nothing. Ah, flip. In farming, you're always gonna have problems. And it's better it happens on a day like this, whenever you're not trying to do something like silage. Right, let me phone and get some people to come and lift me and take me back to the farm. And then that is bad. That is bad. That's literally all the oil from the engine. Of course, no one bothers answering their phone. Nothing gets me more than people who won't answer their phone. So I don't think I can start this tractor again because our old TM310 also split the turbo. But then it started sucking oil into the engine and the engine ran away in the middle of the main road. And that was a terrifying experience that I really do not want to repeat. So I think I just leave it and somehow get the sprayer off even though it's full of spray. And look at the weeds. They need sprayed. Okay, I'm gonna make some phone calls, have a few chats with people. My wife is coming to pick me up, but she's currently in town, so she's gonna be like 15 or 20 minutes. Actually, getting a call back, I might get lifted earlier. My lift has arrived. Ezra says he can fix my tractor. Sir, I don't think you can fix this. Look at all the oil. Look at all the oil. See? The turbo's blowing up. Right, I'm gonna go home, bring the JCB over, get the sprayer off, and then we'll worry about towing the tractor somewhere out of the way. The key to solving problems on a farm is quick, decisive decisions. So I am in the 31, oh dear, the door's not closed. So I'm in the 3115. My dad is taking the JCB up to the field with a pallet. We're going to get the sprayer hooked off and get it hooked onto this. I have hopefully got someone else coming to cover me for milking this evening, although he hasn't replied yet, which will allow me to get this sprayer emptied and sprayed on the fields. I could then get the sprayer home, and then tomorrow we can get that tractor towed somewhere that we can get it onto a lorry and get it off to William Bell Tractors at the start of next week. That is the plan. Whoa, you just wrecked the pallet. Go back. Look at the pallet he brought. It's in pieces. Tilt it up. Other way, other way. Tilt it forward. Whoa, whoa, you've bent the sprayer. Go back. Oh my goodness, man. Okay, it bends back easy enough. Right, go in now. Keep going. Turn it that way a bit. Keep going. Now lift it up. That's it, leave it there, don't move. Now, is there any reason this isn't gonna work? Now is the time to figure that out. Or this sprayer's gonna topple over. Right, tilt it up now. Down a little bit. Whoa, that's it off. Now go back very slowly and then let it down. Okay, you're clear. Go very slow. What do I need? Leave it there, I'll bring the tractor in. What a day. Okay, we're going again. Well, no we're not. This tractor is definitely still broke. It's not going to be going for at least 2 weeks probably. But I'm spraying again. I need to get this done really quickly because I have 40 minutes to empty the sprayer before I have to do the milking. Unfortunately, the guy I asked can't milk this evening, so I've just got to hurry up. I said earlier, the key in farming is to make quick decisions. That's how you deal with problems. And before I get 1,000 comments saying, well, why did you keep driving the tractor? The noise disappeared. It seemed totally back to normal. If I had stopped and came back in like 2 weeks to do silage with the tractor, and then it blew up, that would have been much worse. There was no way I was going to be calling a mechanic to come out to look at the tractor that was working perfectly fine and actually figuring out that the turbo was about to fail. That just was never happening. The only way we figured out the turbo was going to fail was by letting the turbo fail. And the turbo failing at the edge of a field when we're still 2 or 3 weeks out from doing second fit silage is pretty much best case scenario. Right, I'm going to spray these 2 fields with no GPS and hope I don't miss too many bits. It should be fairly straightforward without GPS, lots of grass, and it's a 10-metre sprayer. It's hard to believe that this tractor is 32 years old. And I know I've said this 1,000 times, but the amount of Dawkins is just ridiculous. I have an update for you. Not having a GPS is way more difficult than I remember. You cannot even see the tracks. You have got to be kidding me. Where is the diaphragm gone? I honestly can't believe this. What a day. I imagine it can't have gone far. This was meant to be a benign, boring YouTube video where nothing much happens. I was going to talk about Farmer Phil's 10-year anniversary video, and instead, everything is breaking. It has to be here somewhere. It has to be. It has to be. That does not look like the spray should look like, so it'll clearly give up by this point. I just didn't notice. But the spray looks fine here. No, the spray is not fine here. These Dawkins are not done. More spots. It broke before this, I just didn't notice. Definitely didn't break that much further back. I can't be that unobservant, can I? Oh, it's 4:05. I'm also going to be late for milking. And I only have like an acre left to do. What the? Where is it? Not right. Nope. Nope. Not sprayed properly. Not sprayed properly. They can't have not been spraying this long, could it? Oh, I am now so confused. There is spraying these leaves, so these were done properly. It has to be somewhere along here then. No. Wait, I'm in the wrong line. No, I'm in the right line. These aren't sprayed. No, that's not right. No, it is right. Is it? I have no idea. Okay, I guess we're not finishing the field and I'm just gonna have to head home. But if I don't find this piece now, they're sprayed. They're all sprayed. They're sprayed. It's further up. This makes no sense. Okay, they're sprayed badly. That doesn't look right. I think I'm going mental. How can I not find this? We're now back at the tractor. What the heck? Let's just retrace our steps. We have clearly made an error in our assumptions. I'm getting a phone call in the silage field. Okay, I can't find that. It's gone. I have no idea where that went. I guess I'm gonna have to order a new one. And apparently, the cows have broke out. So, we're not finishing this field. I'm going home to figure out where my cows are. Some days, everything just goes wrong. Oh my days. This is what makes farming interesting. Days like today. The good news is, the tractor has been lifted on Monday, taken to William Bell Tractors, and getting a new turbo. It's not that big of a job. And because we made the smart choice not to try and start the tractor again, it actually isn't even going to cost that much money. Oh my days. Do you know what makes today even worse? Oh no. Why do I not have second gear? Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I get both tractors onto the lorry. Second gear's working now. I don't know what that was. So what is my conclusions from today? Number one, if your tractor makes a funny squeaking noise, stop for a minute and think about what that could mean. Could it mean your turbocharger is just about to fail? Yeah, it probably does. Lesson number two, buy yourself a decent sprayer. It may not make financial sense, but having a machine you can hook on and do a decent amount of acres in a day without it giving you any trouble is very valuable. Lesson number three, don't panic. Whether your tractor blows up or your cows break out, life will go on. You will figure out the problems. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this much more dramatic video than I had expected. If you did, please do subscribe and like this video. It will really help me pay for all of my breakdowns. And I'll see you next week. The flipping cows all broke out into the fresh grass. You couldn't make this up.